Hi everyone. Hi. Yes, we are live now. How you all doing today? So I'm sure we're just getting to join the webinar. So please, as you join, feel free to tell us where you're from, uh, what you would like to learn from today's webinar, and what you do. Please just try to drop it right there in the chat box. Uh, Let us know what you do, where you're from, and all of that. Let's know if when you join the webinar itself. Yeah. Okay, so welcome again to our exciting webinar. And for today, we're going to be learning 3 reasons why you need to implement an abandoned cart series and how you should do it effectively, right? How you should do it effectively. So guys, again, once you join the chat room, please feel free. I like it to be very interactive, okay? Don't be shy. Don't be shy at all. Feel free to let us know where you're from, what you're doing, and all of that. It's just some way of networking and all of that. So I'll just wait to see hi Artish, hi John from NYC. Thank you for joining. Tell us what you do. Tell us what you do as well as you join. Thank you John for joining. Nice. I want to see you all. I want to see you. Hi, Natalie. It's good to have you here. Thank you for joining us today. It's amazing. Super cool to have you here on today's amazing webinar. Hi, Julia. Yes, Julia is happy to be here. So am I. And so is our guest speaker for today. So yes, tell us what you do. Tell us where you're from and all of that. So of course, let me introduce myself to. I am Pam, Business Development Manager at Salesy. Yes, Business Development Manager at Salesy. And of course, it has been amazing working in Salesy. But today, I will be your host for today's webinar session. Hi, Paul. How are you doing? I see you here. Thank you for joining. Yes. Hello. Unaza. I hope I pronounced that well. From Pakistan. Thank you so much for joining. Nice to know that you're a D2C email marketer. Super. Oh, as I join the webinar, so am I. Thank you for joining. Hi, Paul. Tell us where you're joining from. It's good to know. I like it when we join webinars like this. When you tell us what you do, who knows? Someone who might need your services can just be in the chat room, and you never might know. And of course, again, feel free to drop your social media handle, your website or something, and someone can just write you up. Sometimes webinars can be even for networking as well. So thank you for joining. And of course, on today's session, nice, Natalie. Natalie's joining from Spain. Interesting. I used to have a friend in Spain before she relocated. Super. That's nice. Oh, thank you, Anthony. Thank you for joining from Eastern Texas. It's good to have you here. Thank you. And yes, we have our amazing Kate Bart today, right? I'm super excited to have her. Yeah, to have her in today's webinar. In fact, I'm really looking for. And guys, certainly, I'm super sure you're gonna enjoy today's webinar session because Kate Bart is an email marketing expert with more than 15 years of experience. That's super amazing, isn't it? Right? So she's gonna take us on the journey of exploring reasons of implementing abandoned cart series to your email marketing strategy and how to make the most of it, how to skyrocket your revenue from that as well. So hi Kate, thank you for joining today. How are you doing, Kate?
Very well, thank you. It's lovely to be here and be partnering alongside you guys to speak to the audience and bring some amazing content. We've got lots of interesting information for everyone today.
Super. Thank you for joining. And in a couple of seconds, I will be, hi, Michael. Thank you for joining. Hi, Anthony. I see you. Oh, okay, great. Michael is looking forward to new insights. Of course, with Kate Barrett on this webinar, I can assure you, you will be getting a great insights. Yes, of course. So thank you so much, Kate, again. We're super glad to have you here today. And yes, over to you. You can take up the floor. I will just stop talking now and you can have the webinar session.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for logging in today, wherever you are in the world, whatever time zone you're in. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And we are here to talk about something that is really important. If you are a D2C marketer, if you are dealing with consumers, if you have anything that people can buy online, this is the session for you. And do you know what? Even if you're B2B, maybe you don't have a cart that somebody can add something to, but maybe you have a form that they can inquire on. You can get lots of information from today's session on how you can put those types of emails in place for your audience as well. So as we go through the next kind of 45 minutes or so before we answer all of your questions, so please do put those in the chat box as we go. We'll come to those at the end of the session. But in the meantime, we're going to take you through two key areas. The first is the opportunity that really thinking about the abandoned cart process brings to you as a business, what you could really do with it to maximize that opportunity. And then the second point is 3 steps to plan your abandoned cart series. Now, this is not just planning it, but it's planning it in a way that's going to drive results. And along the way, I'm going to give you best practice examples. I'm going to give you a live client case study example of exactly how we've got this implemented and working for a client of ours very, very recently, and they're driving some fantastic results from it. So as mentioned at the beginning, my name is Kate Barrett. I'm the founder of eFocus Marketing, and we help brands to create e-telligence. We're a specialist email marketing agency helping brands to use the channel to really understand your customers and give them the right message to the right person at the right time. And over the last 15, 16 years of my career and 10 years running eFocus Marketing, we've worked with a whole range of brands, from entrepreneurs just getting started all the way through to some of the fantastic big name brands that you can see on your screen there. So we are well placed. We have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. We are in the trenches with these brands, planning the campaigns, looking at the results afterwards, helping to test and optimize and find out what works. Really creating that intelligent email marketing that engages, excites, and ultimately converts your subscribers to customers. So along the way, I've helped a whole range of companies, as I mentioned, and I've also written an Amazon best-selling book, E-Telligence, Email Marketing Isn't Dead, the way you're using it is. And it's the perfect accompaniment to this content. We're going very tactical here. We're going into a very specific automated campaign here. But if you want to have a better overview of your entire strategy, then I definitely recommend having a little read. So that's me. That's eFocus Marketing. We are here to help you at every step, and we want to make sure that brands really understand the power of email marketing. And today's session is all about that abandoned opportunity, that point closest to the funnel of conversion where they've added something into their cart from your website but haven't quite gone through to press that buy button. Now, this is where you can swoop in and be your customer's superhero to help them, to engage them, to inspire them, to move them to that next step of converting with you and the experience that they can have with your brand. You're the final point between the customer and making that purchase. So be the superhero, fly in. And these abandoned cart emails are going to come in to 2 core stages of your customer journey. The consideration stage, where they haven't ever made a purchase from you before. So it's their first time potentially making a purchase with you. And then in the loyalty section, where they've bought from you before and we're trying to encourage them to come back again. Now, generally, these will be very similar in terms of your abandoned cart strategy. There are differences you can put into play here. Just generally, when you're communicating with your subscribers during either of these life cycle stages, before they've made a purchase with you or when they've done something with you before and you're bringing them back, that's 2 very different mindsets that a customer is in. When they've never bought from you before, they're thinking, why should I buy with this brand? Can I trust this brand? Is this going to be a quality product? Is it the right product for me? All of these questions, because they've never dealt with you before. What's your payment process like? What's your delivery process like? All of these questions are coming up. When they've bought from you before, they've gone through that process. They know some of that information. So yes, reiterate some of that. But think about how we're taking them on that journey. They don't need that basic information from us, but what they need is that reassurance that, yes, buy from us again. You're going to have another great experience with us. So in all of your communications, really start to think about the difference between those types of customers. And with any of your email marketing and with your abandoned cart series, getting into the mindset of your customers is absolutely key. I'm going to leave that one with you. I'm going to come back to that in terms of content in just a moment. Because what we want to be doing is driving people through that funnel back to that purchase and experience phase, using the experience that they have and the time that you have with them during that purchase time really, really well to help encourage that loyalty going forward. So at each of these stages, we're trying to drive back through to purchase. But to do that, we've got to be really helpful.
Hi, sorry. Hi, Kate. Sorry to interrupt you. So sorry, but I can see some comments like they can see your slides. So maybe you can relaunch this.
Okay. Let me reshare.
Yes, maybe you can reshare. Hi, Julia, Michael. Yes, that will be fixed. It's normal sometimes when we have webinars. Sometimes it's even strange when issues like this do not come up. So that's normal. So, but do let us know as soon as you can see the slides properly.
Any better? Can you see them now?
And a comment from my end, I can see it. Comments, please, Julia or Michael.
I don't want you all to miss anything. So yes, please do let me know that you can see them now.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Yeah. Success. I think Mercury's in retrograde or something is going on technology-wise. So as long as you can all see them now, that's brilliant. And it's going to make a lot more sense as to what I was saying now as well. So that's brilliant. Fantastic. Thank you. So as I was saying, we're moving people from these stages through to that purchase and experience phase. And we're really here to help them, serve them, support them, guide them into that buying process and that last stage before conversion with your abandoned cart emails. So what's the opportunity here? How many people actually abandon their carts? Now, I'm sure you will be able to see this for your own businesses. And if you're using any of the common software in terms of running a retail business, I'm sure you'll be able to see an abandonment rate within that platform. But generally, as an industry, we're looking at about 81% of people putting stuff into their cart and then abandoning, not going through to make that purchase and press that final buy button. So there is a massive opportunity here. And there's a little breakdown from sales cycle client data showing kind of retail, fashion, travel, utilities, and then all sectors with their abandon rates. But the best rates to ever compare against is your own. So do go and have a look and see what your abandoned cart rate is. Does your platform give you a value against that? Because if we look at, again, general values in the market, $4.6 trillion lost by all online retailers worldwide. 260 billion of that 4 trillion could have been recovered if a strategy had have been in place to really connect with your subscribers, your potential audience, to drive them through to that next stage. And that's 18 billion lost by e-commerce brands, just specifically. So what would this mean to your business if instead of an 80% abandon rate, you had that at 70% because you saved 10% of it? What would that mean in terms of revenue for your business? That could be an absolute game changer in terms of the revenue you're driving. Now, using email at any stage of the customer lifecycle helps to support and guide and nurture your audience, but particularly at this stage, we know that abandoned basket or abandoned cart emails work particularly well. So if we look at some of the general stats again, and if we start with the stat at the bottom of the screen, actually, average order value of recovered purchases, so people who've put items in their basket, into their cart, abandoned and been brought back, is typically over 14% higher than they would have spent in the first place. So not only have we got an opportunity here to drive people back to make the purchases that they perhaps were thinking about in the first place, but also add to that, to expand that knowledge for them of what you've got available and what could potentially go alongside one of the items they've added in their basket, for example. So again, so little content ideas starting to flow here of what we could do differently within our messaging. So from these statistics, 70% of online shopping carts are abandoned across the web. Again, go by your statistics because industry statistics will always be different. 85% of shoppers find cart reminder emails helpful. They want these emails. They are helpful to them. But our job as marketeers is to make sure they are helpful, not just repetition, but helpful. So again, we're going to come back to that in terms of content. And 61% say cart reminders will get them back to your site, bring them back in, give them that easy route to come back to what they were last doing and continue that behavior through. And these types of emails, as we know with any automated campaigns that send the right message to the right person at the right time, these types of emails are no different. And you can certainly see that in terms of open rates, and you can look at individual sectors there, they are high performing open rates and then conversion rates going through as well. So it's really important that you maximize this opportunity because of the value that is available out there in the market for the taking. These abandonments are happening on your site if you own and run or a marketer for a retailer. These are happening. You can help them. And that's exactly what we did for our client because they found themselves in a very similar situation. So with their abandoned basket, at the moment when we started working with them, there was no campaign currently set up when someone left those items in the basket. There was nothing happening at that point. They were at those kind of beginning stages, not even one email going out. So what we did for them was to look at creating an optimized strategy for a really structured abandoned basket email series to recover those potentially lost customers and revenue. And for them, it was massive. So the strategy that we implemented for them showed click rates upwards of 5% and click to open rates upwards of 30%. But those are just vanity metrics really, right? What we want to know is the revenue. So an additional £250,000 in additional revenue they would not have had in just the first 6 months after they implemented their optimized campaign strategy. So I'm going to show you exactly how we did this, the stages we went through, the types of content that we put in as we go through today. But it's well worth doing. And the first step in this was not just putting in one abandoned basket email, wasn't just putting in 2, but it was putting in 3. 3 is the magic number, right? And you can definitely test this, but 3 is a good place to start. Maybe for your business, it will be 4. Maybe adding in a 4th will get that extra £250,000 revenue that you wouldn't have got on top of what you're already generating. Who knows? That's what's amazing about email marketing. What works for your audience will be different. 3 is the magic number. Start there. Start with those 3 emails. One that sends about an hour. And again, test these timeframes for your audience, but this is a good starting point if you've got nothing in place. So send an hour after they first abandon the basket. Not immediately, it's too soon. About an hour, you could test an hour or 2 hours and see what works better, but send that one on the same day as they abandon that basket. The second email, about 24 hours later. So give them a chance to come back, take that action, complete whatever they were doing, 24 hours later-ish. Then either 42 or 72 hours later. So again, look at your audience, look at how they're interacting with the first two and test what works for you. But this is where we bring in the third email. Now, crucially, spoiler alert, again, the key thing here is the content of these emails. We are not just repeating, you've left these items in your basket. You've left these items in your basket. You've left these items in your basket. That doesn't help anybody. We need to make sure that we are evolving the messaging as we go through that series. So let me give you the 3 steps to plan your abandoned basket series. Step 1, no surprise here, identify your key messages. So what I want you to think about is take yourself out of your email head. Think about being a potential customer. What does your audience need before they're going to convert? Do they need help, inspiration, reassurance? What is it that they need? So help. Could you help them to get in touch with you really easily? Could you call out how they can contact your customer services team, for example? Or is there a live chat that they could join if they've got a question about a product? Is there somewhere where they can go to check sizing and how your sizes come up on your website? That's what we're thinking about here. What do they need to help them? If they have stalled and not made that purchase, not gone through from putting the items in the basket to making that purchase, what do they need? What could help them? Perhaps they need inspiration. Perhaps it's that they liked the product that they found, but it wasn't quite right for them. What else is there that's similar or connects with that item that they added to their basket originally, or items that you could suggest as alternative options? Move them through, help them with that decision-making process. And then how can you reassure them? Allay any fears about website security. Add testimonials to your emails. Be transparent about your shipping costs. Be clear about returns policies. Call out USPs of your business, the things that make your business special or that you do to support your customers. Now, you need to really look at this for your business. Go and speak to other areas of your team. Go and speak to your social media teams. Go and speak to your customer services teams. What do they hear from potential customers? What worries them? What help do they need? What do they struggle with? Because that's where we're here with our email marketing to support that. Now, if you look on the internet, I'm going to show you a couple of different statistics here about why shoppers abandon their cart. So this might give you a little bit more inspiration as to what those challenges could potentially be that you could create content within this series to help them with and put that positive spin on it, give the positive element of it. So, for example, why do they abandon their carts? If they see negative peer reviews. So showing them positive reviews, for example, that could really help to counteract that. Perhaps really reassuring them about your returns policy. Those types of elements could help there. Lack of good returns policy. So I think being transparent about it. I think making sure that, as a business generally, you've got that policy in place and you can be really transparent about it. Really good content to put into these emails. And you can see as you go down the chart there, lots of other reasons. I'll show you another chart. So why are they abandoning their carts? They're just looking, browsing, comparing. Perhaps they've gone to another website in the meantime to have a look. Maybe by the time they get to a day or 2 days past abandoning their cart with you, what if they've already bought something else from another shop? This is why just repeating, you've abandoned your basket, you've abandoned your basket, you've abandoned your basket, doesn't work optimally because you're not following that journey, the mindset that the customer, potential customer with you is going through. So they're just looking, shipping costs and options, comparing prices. They want to have a look online, but then go and buy in store. So if you have physical retail outlets, you really need to be connecting in that data to understand shoppers' different behaviors. So we work with a big high street retailer in the UK, and we are suggesting to them at the moment that they separate out their strategy and they have specific content that comes in if they know that a subscriber has bought in store before, because the services and the products offered in store slightly differ from what's online. So we're tempting them with what's online, and there's more here, more range, more options, but there's also the USPs of going in store. So again, we're picking up on all of these data points to personalize the messages that we're sending out to really help with that customer behavior and driving them back through. So what do customers do next? After they've abandoned their cart, most of them will either go on to purchase from the same website later or at a later date, 31%. 26% go and buy from a different seller. 23% just stop buying, they're just browsing. And 8% go to a physical store to buy. So there are lots of actions, lots of thought processes that are taking place in those first 48 to 72 hours after a shopper abandons their cart. And you really need to pick up on that and support the customer to maximize the opportunity. You need to help, inspire, and reassure. And I've got some examples on the screen here of how you can do that. Yes, reminding them of what's in their basket is a great way to do it, but also thinking about how you can add in that additional content to help with the mindset and drive through. Now, I want to give you some really practical ideas here. So there's a little list for you of some practical, tactical subject lines and calls to action you can use in your emails to help to drive that initial open of your abandoned cart emails and then that conversion. So again, test these for your business, adapt them for your business, see what works best for your audience. And a couple of examples on the screen here. Can we help you? What do you need? Not just reminding of the products, but what do you need? Or on the right-hand side there, you can see from Dollar Shave Club, they're saying, that's cool. We're bummed you didn't get anything this time, but that's okay. Come and join the club. Come back to us. You can still do something about it. They're kind of bringing that emotional fun and humor into their emails. And then they're also bringing in those testimonials to reassure the audience. An example here of personalization. So bringing in products that they might like based on what was already in their basket. So you can see on the left from Cox & Cox there, they've got that main call to action, and same for Ralph Lauren. Come back and complete your order. Here's the items in your basket. Cox & Cox do it more as a summary. They're still here. Ralph Lauren at this point are still kind of itemizing those items. By the time you get to the third email, you might want to go more of the Cox & Cox example way here to really change that mindset, pull into that mindset of, well, maybe they've decided not to buy that item. Maybe they've gone elsewhere and bought something. So what else can we offer them that they might also like? So what's connected to that product? And that, of course, needs the data feeds in the background to feed these in, but it could just be most popular items in that category, for example. You can use dynamic content and those elements to feed products into your emails. So use that data, use it to connect together. Social proof, as I mentioned, for content is fantastic. So again, it really helps with that mindset. We know, and historically, this has been forever in marketing, testimonials, word of mouth, that kind of peer review, peer support is always proven to get customers responding better. So having those positive reviews, whether it's of the business and the process of making a purchase or of a specific individual product that's in their basket, for example, bringing in that social proof, reviews, testimonials, star ratings can really help to drive that action and overcome that fear. Now, incentives are something that a lot of people often add to abandoned cart emails. And I would say that, yes, these can be great. Yes, they can absolutely help to increase your conversion rate, but do be careful with them because we're all only human. And if we can get a discount and we learn what that process is to get a discount, We're all going to do it, right? So if they know that every time they abandon their basket, you send them a 20% off offer to go and actually go and complete that order, they're going to game the system and they're going to do that every time. And who can blame them, really? So think about randomizing when that discount comes into play. So maybe it comes in email 1 sometimes, maybe it's in email 3, maybe it doesn't come in at all. Maybe the first time they trigger the abandoned cart, they see a discount, but maybe that doesn't come up again for them until it's the next 10th time they've abandoned their basket. And then you might offer a discount. So really think about when that's bought in. Be careful, obviously, not to cheapen your brand. If there's a lot of discounting, that can really be something that you need to think about, but make sure that people don't game the system, because we'd all do it if we can get 20% off. So don't fall into that trap. So you need to think about your content. You need to think about, what do these subscribers need at this moment in time, at this point in their journey? How could we potentially help them? What are the common reasons that people abandon their cart generally? What are the reasons for our business? Now, of course, this could uncover other areas of your business that need to be updated. So there might be something wrong with that cart process. Maybe there's too many fields that you have to fill out and they always drop off at a certain point. That's your conversion rate optimization on site to improve that. But from an email side, anything that's worrying the customers, anything that they need that reassurance on, that we can help them with, or we can inspire them to come back and look again and find that product that's right for them, that's what we need to be doing in our series. And that's how you take it to the next level. So that's step 1. Get that list together. Don't worry about putting it into individual emails for now. Get that list together of how could we help. Then you can think about where it goes into the journey for the mindset, and you can start to plan that message flow and timing. Now, I've given you some examples of some starting point timing and where to go from, but let's have a look at some more examples of that. So there was a survey done, or statistics done by Remarketing, that showed that first 12 hours after somebody abandons their basket is absolutely crucial. And approximately 72% will return to complete that purchase. And again, this is why we're changing our plan and our flow as we move through the series. So the first email, the second email, remind them, help them, reassure them. By the time you get to that third email, you've got to be thinking in their mindset of, they've probably already gone and made a purchase from elsewhere. Maybe this isn't the right product for them. How can we inspire them to come back? Other products, other options for them. So again, moving that mindset through. So I'd say kind of first 12 hours to 24 hours. Again, test it for your audience, but it gives you a starting point to go from, and some helpful statistics there. Now, when it comes to your flow, I've got an example for you here, and you can also think about bringing in a multi or an omni-channel approach to your abandoned basket as well. So again, how do we amplify this opportunity? Well, we could have a series of 3 emails, but we could also have an SMS that goes out. So between the first email at hour 1 and the second email at 24, maybe you've got an SMS that goes out at 5 hours afterwards to remind them that that basket's there as well. Maybe you take this list and this dynamic list of subscribers who've fallen into that abandoned pot, and you upload it into Facebook, or if we're supposed to call it Meta now, or I have no idea what it's called, but load it into there, and you can retarget that segment of your audience during that time when they're going through their abandoned basket emails. So you've got the option not just to use email to amplify your opportunity here, but your other marketing channels as well. SMS, of course, if you've got an opt-in, Facebook ads, of course, if you're using them as part of your strategy. But it's well worth thinking about that flow, how you break it down. And what you've got on the screen here is an example. I turn on my little pointer. Here we go, laser pointer incoming. So what we had here was a client that had multiple different core areas of their business that when they abandoned their cart, depending on what the primary category of the items within that cart was, that was the core theme of those emails that were going out. So we had 6 different variations of these emails. It was mostly kind of design variations, but the products recommended, the way that we spoke to the customers about those specific areas was different for those variations. So again, if you want to take it to the next level, don't just do a set of 3 emails. Think about how can you personalize those emails going out? How could you change it for different core groups of your audience? So that could be based on category, as you can see on the screen, or as I mentioned earlier, maybe it's based on life cycle stage. Maybe you've got a different abandoned cart series that has slightly different helpful information in it for those who've never bought from you before but have abandoned their basket versus those who have made a previous purchase and have then subsequently abandoned their basket in the future. So think about, again, these levels of optimization that we can bring to a strategy to take it to that next step. And if you want an easy way to plan out something like this, you can do it in Excel, absolutely. Or there's a system called Lucidchart that I really like to use. And I think you get a free couple of builds on there as well. So definitely go and check that out. It's just nice and easy for mapping flows and how they connect together. So those are the first 2 steps. What's your core content? What's your timing of your messages? And I can't give you a firm answer on that, but I can give you what we've seen work for other clients, as I have done, and just tell you that's your testing point to see what works for your audience. But step 3 is thinking about other important planning considerations. So we're bringing this all together now. So you've got that core content, you've matched that content list against that mindset from when they first abandoned to 48 to 72 hours later and how that mindset's changing, building up those messages. You've got your timing in there. Now we need to think about how this sits with any other campaigns that you're sending within your business. Because if you've got lots of automated campaigns set up already, you need to definitely be thinking about this. It's super critical. And if this is the first one you're setting up, you need to be aware of this now so that as you add more automated campaigns in the future, you know how they sit together. So the first thing to think about is what is the data that is going to include or exclude somebody from this campaign. Now, initially, obviously, the piece of data that we're using is they've added items to their basket, their cart, but haven't gone through to make a purchase. Absolutely. That's your starting point for the series, but we can layer on other information. So as I showed you in the previous slide, that could be then segmenting and sending a slightly different series depending on the main category that they've got within their basket, depending on what type of customer they are with you. So let me give you an example of that. If somebody has last purchased from you in the last 30 days, let's say, for example, maybe you don't want to trigger this abandoned basket series to them. Maybe you want to skip it. So there is a longer time period between when they bought and then when you're chasing them to buy again. Or maybe you want to give them a shortened series. So one of our clients that we worked with did exactly that. So they had 3 emails. And for those clients that had actually bought from them within the last 30 days, they didn't send email 1. So they didn't send that immediate kind of 1 hour after follow-up. They waited and they sent that second email to that audience. So it started at 24 hours and there was 2 emails in the series. So you've got options, but you need to think about this, how that series is going to change, how it's going to personalize based on your data, and who needs to be included or excluded from that series. And then the other key thing to think about is your messaging hierarchy. So how does this series sit with other automated campaigns that you have within your plans? Now, this is the closest campaign to that point of conversion in that funnel, trying to squeeze them through. So really, this campaign should overrule anything else that is happening within the business, other than obviously if you've got kind of key manual campaigns that are going out. But any other automated campaigns. So if you've got abandoned browse, if you've got a welcome series, if you've got anything like that running, this one should take priority over that other series because it is the closest point to conversion. So think about that hierarchy, think about how they sit together, and make sure that if you're setting up a new automation, you put a rule in place for it that says, if somebody joins this automation and abandons their basket, pause this one or stop this one completely and switch them over. Otherwise, you have too much going out. And as I mentioned, test again. This is absolutely critical with everything that we do with email marketing. And that is exactly the same for abandoned cart emails. So email 1, 2, 3, when they send, I've given you some examples there of what we've seen work with other clients. The content that you put into your emails, how you encourage the sales. So whether or not you say your cart will only last for a certain amount of time, if you give them a special offer, whatever that might be, these are all things to test to maximize that opportunity. So just to kind of bring us back to the case study that I mentioned earlier and those fantastic results of getting £250,000 or £250,000 in additional revenue in the first 6 months after implementation. So what do we do? Exactly the things that I've just advised you to do. We went through, we looked at that core content of what they needed to move them through that series and planned that series of 3 emails. And you can see a summary of those kind of key pieces of content. So starting with an initial reminder, excluding those purchasers that had come in the last 30 days, they would join in email 2. Email 2 was, can we help? So key contact information. We had some reviews in there. We did have a reminder of the items in the basket, but it was all about how can we help you? Do you need something? Do you need some support? Do you need to find the right size? Those kind of elements. And then by the time we got to email 3, we did have that final reminder of the items in the basket, but we linked that in with those related product recommendations. So really taking them through a journey. And this resulted in £250,000 in just 6 months. So it's done millions since we put this in place for them. So for you, the key thing is to make sure that you're really considering why your audience are abandoning and create that content plan to help resolve those challenges, inspire them through to the purchase. Think about and test that timing and the flow of your emails, how you segment it with that content, the timing in between each one. Start with 3, maybe it's 4 emails. Test it for your audience, but 3 is usually the magic number here. And consider those rules and exclusions. Think about your data. And if you need some help with it, if you want help to plan out that strategy and go through and get it done for you in terms of creating those plans and what content might help your audience, we've got an offer today in conjunction with this partnership and webinar with Celtzy. So what we will do is we will create you that comprehensive workflow plan for your abandoned cart series. We're going to give you the number of emails and give you those suggested timings to start from with that testing. We're going to talk to you about the type of content that you can put in for your business that goes through that series of 3 emails and those possible testing strategies going forward as well. Now, this would usually be £2,500, but with the special offer from today's webinar, if you contact us and put in your order for this workflow plan by the end of July, so 31st of July, you'll get that for just £990 when you quote Celtzy webinar. So it's well worth doing. It's going to give you that supercharge points that you can then just go and build those emails in your system and get them running and know that you've got a really solid plan in place to start off and drive those conversions through and maximize the abandoned opportunity. So hopefully I'll see lots of you and talk to lots of you through that offer. But for today, other than answering your questions, that is it from me. So please do feel free to reach out with any questions, any way that we can help with your abandoned cart series or any other email marketing that you're doing, whether it's strategic support or implementation support within your platform. Thank you, everyone.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much, Kate. That was super, super, super amazing. I mean, I can see even in the comment box, everyone is excited. excited and, following through. Questions are already trolling in. And for me, I mean, I always like it when people ask questions. It means that they're actually following and they want to know more. So thank you so much. Personally, I've learned a lot from all that you've said, bringing out key messages, the message flow, and the amazing case studies, of course. Thank you so much. But yeah, before we go dive into the question and answer segment, I will just give a brief about Sellsy. Maybe Kate, maybe you can help me with the slide from your end since you started the presentation. Yeah. So guys, of course, I've introduced myself earlier, and Sellsy, you might know already about Sellsy, or maybe for those who do not know briefly, Sellsy is an email marketing tool that you can use even as a beginner. It's user-friendly. I mean, you can literally sign up for free on Sellsy platform to make use of the email marketing tool there with no technical knowledge. And of course, with good customer support, you can create your own email marketing campaign in about 15 minutes. Yes. So with all of this, we've been discussing all through today how to, send emails and all of that. The Sellsy email marketing platform is a very good tool that you can use. And of course, it's very affordable. After using the free plan, of course, the free plan that you're entitled to, you can sign up with as low as $7 per month. You can, get across. And of course, you can have detailed analytics of your campaigns to be able to see those who click your emails. It will help you improve. Getting analytics are like feedbacks for me, when you can see who are opening your emails, to see the navigation. That way you'll be able to track, the success rate, and you can see where you need to improve and whatnot. Next slide, please, Kate. Yes, and again, email campaign optimization. The Sellsy team we're super excited to help you with your email campaigns and all of that. So even after creating your email campaigns, you can get suggestions on something to adjust. You can get recommendations from us before you launch your campaign. So once you set it up, there's an automatic help that you will get from Sellsy just to ensure that you're hitting the target with the right kind of emails and all of that. The next slide quickly. And again, automations. Yes, this part is super interesting, and I really like this feature. Like I mentioned earlier, it's super easy, user friendly. And again, after sending out your emails, you do not need to manually reply, every candidate that replies to your email and all of that. You can just set up an automatic response, an auto response. So for example, someone wants to make further inquiries, you can have like an email that is, segmented for that, or someone who wants to buy your product instantly, you can have an automated response for that. So that way you can, increase your revenue in no distant time. To the next slide. And of course, again, Sellsy is very wonderful in the sense that integrate other very popular resources, popular platform with Sellsy. For me, I'm a kind of person that I like to have all my things in one box. Okay, so for example, you send out emails, you have your database and everything. You can just integrate it with your CRM, and of course, your CRM is where you can track your clients and all of that. So it's super good that you can integrate Sellsy with all other platforms. And to the next slide again, to further buttress my point regarding analyzing your campaign, you get to see open rates easily. You'll be able to see delivery rates, sometimes to know some of your emails that got into the spam box, or some that bounced back, or some that didn't deliver. You'll be able to see all of this analytics using the Sellsy tool. And to the very last, next slide. Okay, please do not forget to follow us on social media. Do not forget to follow us on social media. And yes, we have an amazing platform, an amazing opportunity for everyone here that has joined this webinar today. It's a lifetime access. Yes, a lifetime access to all Sellsy features. Isn't that right? You get to have access to send emails, make use of our contacts, have 24-hour support. And I'm going to be sharing a link here I'll share it here on the chat. It will make it easy for you to easily sign up. So normally, if you check on Salesy, you might get to see like maybe $200 and all of this. But using this link, you can get access to all of Salesy features, the standard features, premium, all of it, using this click at just $49. Isn't that amazing? It's, for me, I call it a giveaway price. We are we're very interested about, that's why we're doing webinars and all of that. We're actually interested in seeing that your conversion rate, your client relationship, your revenue rate super increases. And again, like I said, do not forget to follow us on social media. The reason for that is you can get access to further webinar announcements. You might get some tips, how to, go back and forth with your clients. And in case you're having some problems, you can just reach out to us on question and answer segments. Yes. Like I said, thank you so much again, Catherine. A lot of questions have been trooping in. So let me start from the very, very first one. Yeah, I can see. Okay. Yes. Let me start from the very first one from Michael. Thank you so much, Michael, for that. And the question is, any current trends for creating such series of emails? So all these questions are directed to you, Kate, our amazing email marketing specialist. And I'll be reading it out one after the other. So the first one is, any current trends for creating such series of emails?
Yeah, I think the main trend is be helpful, understand your audience, use the data that you've got to really personalize those messages. That's the key trend. It's really getting that right message, right person, right time. So using a series of emails, making that content as personalized and dynamic as possible if you can. Those are the key trends at the moment with all types of automated campaigns, but certainly work in this case.
Amazing. Thank you for that, Michael. I hope that is clear enough. Again, another one from George. How can we optimize the performance of our emails? A/B testing or other methods?
Yeah, A/B testing is the best place to start. You can do multivariate testing, but that's kind of advanced. You need separate software, things like that. So start with that A/B testing. Understand your audience, understand what works for them, what doesn't. So does this content work better in email 1 or email 2 or email 3? That might be one of your tests. It could be down to where you place those call to action buttons, whether you put the reminder of the basket at the top or at the bottom and your other content. So yeah, that is the way to do it. Is if you want to increase your results, you need to send the right message to the right person at the right time. And the best way to ascertain that is then to test it. Yes.
Super true. Thank you very much for answering. Again, another one from John. John is asking, does promos help in abandoned cart or more storytelling? Because promos don't help, as I have more education content I found helped in abandoned cart. So he's trying to clarify, does promo helps in abandoned cart?
John, I think you've answered your own question. If you've seen for your audience that more educational content helps better than a promo discount, go with that. You've really got to see what works for your audience. And as I mentioned, be careful with those promos when they do come in, because promos can cheapen your brand. If you're using them a lot, people can start to game the system and not make a purchase until they get that offer. So I think that there are considerations with promos. They can absolutely work in a lot of circumstances, but you've got to do what's right for your audience and your brand.
Amazing. Great. Again, okay, we still have one more question, but of course, guys, feel free to drop questions. Yes, we have Kate also to ourselves today to ask anything we want to clarify. Feel free. And I love the chat box. Comments have been going on. Everyone seems to be so excited already about this webinar. So yes, let's take the question again from Danielle. Yes, Danielle is asking, please share some psychological triggers or persuasion techniques for compelling abandoned cart email CTA.
Okay, great question. A topic all on its own. I would definitely recommend checking out an author or a great business guy called John Cialdini. I'll try and remember how to spell it and pop it in the Cialdini. I think that's right. I put that. Oh, I think I put it in the Q&A instead of in the chat. I'll put it in the chat in a second. There we go. He has his, I think it's 6 persuasion tactics or psychological tactics. So that's fear of missing out. It's things like kind of that peer review, testimonials from people. It's linking in to what they've done before. It's reciprocity. It's, if you give them something, they'll give you something in return, which works really well in the acquisition and sign up process. So definitely check out Robert Cialdini if you're interested in those kind of persuasion tactics. And in terms of psychological triggers, there's lots of things that you can try. So even something as simple as putting, check out your basket now, rather than just check out your basket. Having that now on the end can really help. Test it for your audience and see what works. These are just things I've seen with previous clients. One big one is, instead of check out your basket, put check out my basket. So take it into that person's kind of first person and turn it into their world rather than yours. We've saved it for you. It's get my basket, check out, get my items. So you can definitely test. And again, A/B testing is brilliant for this. Those different types of techniques, specifically on CTAs with a couple of examples there. But bringing in those kind of persuasion tactics, psychological triggers, pretty much everything that we've talked about in terms of the content, you can link back to one of those. Fear of missing out might be, we've only saved your basket for 48 hours and then it's gone. I mean, test that with your audience. I'm not sure how much that works nowadays, or it's just a bit of a pain, to be honest. But that could be something. It could be get a discount when you go through and buy your items in the next 12 hours or whatever it might be. You've obviously got those elements. Like I mentioned, you've got testimonials coming in to that content. So look at all of the content suggestions that we've kind of been through today, and they will all link into those psychological factors. So hopefully that helps, Daniel.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Kate. I'm sure that I got that really clearly because, of course, personally, I also learned from that. Yeah, again, comments are coming in. Paul is saying, such a detailed, fantastic webinar. Thank you so much. I've been seeing wonderful comments. Thank you all, Julia, Natalia. Thank you all so much. And again, I'm waiting if we have more questions. Do we have more questions? I can see more questions here. Everyone seems excited. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you all again. And of course, most especially, thank you so much, Kate Barrett. I'll wait. We'll just wait for like a few more seconds. If we wouldn't, if there
you can always
no
catch
questions.
up on LinkedIn if there's any kind of follow-up questions.
Yes, please, guys. You can catch up Kate Barrett on LinkedIn. You can follow her on social media handles and all of that. I'm sure she displayed it on the screen the other time. Please feel free to follow her. Feel free to follow Selzy as well. And for amazing insights. Yes. If we do not have so much. Thank you so much, Kate Barrett, for taking out time to join us and share this amazing topic with us. And I'm sure everyone is excited because, of course, we've learned so much. Personally, I've learned so much. And I'm sure we all are going to put what we've learned to practice. Thank you so much. And thank you so much to the amazing Selzy team for putting this together always. And yes, guys, please feel free to join us. We usually have this webinar on most likely on almost every on a weekly basis. Yes, but that is, like I said, we're interested in your growth, in your personal growth. We're interested to see more conversion rates and all of that. So please take advantage of all our offers. Like I mentioned the other time about the Selzy offer, having with just $49, you can get all of Selzy offers. You can get access. Maybe you want to ask us questions. You want to consult with us one-on-one like that. You can have access to all of this. Yes. So I can see more questions tripping in. So, okay, I guess this is where we call it call it a day. So depending on where you're joining us from, to have a great day, a great evening, a great night, and to all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kate. It was nice having you here. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone. Bye.